I don't know what to say, really.
Fucking Roethlisberger, the quarterback, was all fucking hug it, chug it, football all night.
I know football. What you did with those boys. You were the right man for the job, coach.
You're Hall of Fame in my book.
Now, let's analyze what's been working for us. Not a goddamn thing's been working for us. Like this goddamn suit doesn't work for me. And this stinking tie, and this goddamn shirt, it doesn't work for me!
I'll tell you why you don't have your $10 million yet. 'Cause right now, you are a paycheck player. You play with your head, not your heart. In your personal life, heart. But when you get on the field, it's all about what you didn't get, who's to blame, who underthrew the pass, who's got the contract you don't, who's not giving you your love. You know what? That is not what inspires people.
This is your opportunity
For
here.
you! Playing football at West Canaan may have been the opportunity of your lifetime. But I don't want your life.
I'll tell you this, in any fight, it's the guy who's willing to die who's gonna win that itch. And I know if I'm gonna have any life anymore, it's because I'm still willing to fight and die for that itch. Because that's what living is. The 6 inches in front of your face.
You know how to play winning hard-nosed football? You play football like Ed Gennaro played football. A guy who gave his life for this football team. He was a 140-pound halfback, and he played like a goddamn wild man. No, like a goddamn rampaging beast. And that's the way you gotta do it. You go out there, you tear their fucking heads off, and you shit down their necks. Let us pray.
I'll see you in L.A.
No heart.
No heart? I'm all heart, motherfucker!
Utah.
You heard it here
Give me
first.
two.
2 L's, 2 Z's. We're live. Palazzo Podcast is Sunday morning, week 8. Mikey V and Mikey G coming at you. It's time to get into the business. Start sits. Who you got? Who's in? Who's out? What are you doing this week? We already had our first question while the video was rolling to start the day, as we do every week, Mike. And what's your answer? Ridley or London in the flex? Because I went Ridley.
Yeah, I'm going Ridley as well. The Steelers give up a lot of points to wide receivers. So I actually like both Calvin Ridley and Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram. I'd say 2 out of those 3 guys I think are going to ball out today. So I like Calvin Ridley here in a get back game. So
Get back! All right. Well, Calvin Ridley didn't have a great week last week, so the classic bounce back, up, down theory of the NFL, which is very, very true. It's real, folks. We're good this week. We suck next week. We suck now. We'll be back next week on a very special edition of the NFL, Week 8, 2023. Make sure you follow Mike on Twitter at _Mike V. Yay! I'm at MJ Govier. And, of course, Palazzo Podcast, 2 L's,
Utah.
2 Z's.
Give
We
me
got a
2.
Patreon, starts at $3. We got a Discord, it's totally free. It's in the description. You know how this stuff works. I don't need to explain it any further. You see it. You like it, come get it. No one's going to work for you like we'll work for you. We're here 2 times a week at least, every week, Tuesdays and Sundays with the big shows. Donovan's here. He's fired up. Let's go. Week 3. That's right. Big week 3. Remember week 3? Boy, what happened to week 3? Let's see. I can't remember because nobody remembers what happened 5 weeks ago, right?
nope.
Are you, now that I said this Tuesday, that the Ravens are going to fall to the Cardinals, now it's Sunday morning, does that seem any more likely to you or less likely?
You know, it's crazy that you bring that up because I was actually just going through my pick'em sheet. I play in a pick'em pool, so we play it weekly.
Ooh,
and
yeah.
I'm going back and forth between the Ravens and the Cardinals. And usually how you win these pick'em pools is you pick teams that nobody expects to win. That's usually how you win, instead of picking all the favorites. And
That's
I
putting
went
it
back
mildly.
I went back to our Tuesday show, and I'm like, damn it. Is this a letdown game for Baltimore this week after crushing the Lions? And I'm still 50-50. I'm scared of this matchup. I don't think it's as slam dunk as everyone thinks. Cardinals are not a bad team. I know that the record doesn't show it, but I'm scared.
Cardinals play tough. The problem is Cardinals don't finish games. They are horrible in the fourth quarter. They have, I think, the lowest points in the fourth quarter across the entire league. Like, they just don't last. They give you, it's great to usually bet Arizona in the first half and then bet against them in the second half. If you're looking for some half bets, that's always fun. I don't really do quarter bets or half bets as much when it comes to the NFL, but there's probably some money to be made there. I don't feel like that's a mistake. Donovan says rest of season full PPR, which is the antithesis of Mike's home league. Devontae Smith or Ramondre full PPR. This is tough because Ramondre catches a lot of passes out of the backfield. Basically, it's sustained any value that he's had this year. But Zeke Elliott ran good last week. He's in the mix a bit here. It's kind of annoying. What do you think here? I'm going to look up the snap percentages recently.
Yeah, I'm going to go Ramondre Stevenson here. Usually when people ask me a question, I don't care if it's PPR, full PPR, half PPR, or standard, I always lean towards running backs. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm a big running backs guy. And that's always going to be a leg up over a receiver for me. I know we're talking about PPR and receivers catch the ball a lot more than running backs do, but I like Ramondre Stevenson, and I like him actually as a buy low moving forward. So the Patriots haven't been bad. I don't know if they're this bad. And they played well against Buffalo. So that's obviously got to feel good for them. Zeke Elliott's a plotter at this point in his career. I don't think it's going to be to a point where we are worried about Stevenson moving forward, but I like Stevenson here over Devontae Smith.
For those of you here on the live stream, by the way, we don't publish this one as a podcast. We publish the Tuesday show as a podcast. You can check us out and give us a 5-star review anytime you want on your preferred podcast platform. Apple Podcasts is usually where that happens. But for those of you watching right now, look at this. There's only 2 running backs this season. This is incredible. In the era of running backs by committee with multiple backs getting in the mix, vulturing touchdowns, the Patriots have truly just used 2. Give me 2. Utah.
Give me 2.
It's either Ramondre or Zeke the whole season so far. This is quite an anomaly, actually.
Yeah, it's actually pretty crazy too, because like you said, most systems and most NFL teams utilize 3 different backs, at least getting them some touches. They've really only used 2, so that's crazy.
Also, maybe it tells you how stubborn Bill Belichick is now and setting his ways too much, maybe. That's right. Anyways, Ramondre is going to be a part of this backfield, even if Zeke cuts in. There's been weeks, obviously 46% week 5, but Ramondre has never lost this backfield, and he won't the rest of the way. If anything, Zeke will break down more, and eventually someone is going to be taking snaps besides these 2 guys in the backfield, but Ramondre will always remain supreme. All right, so we're live here at Palazzo Podcast. Mikey V and Mikey G. We got more. BTC's in his house. Cards are tough at home. Yeah, they're tough. They beat the Cowboys. Nobody expected that one. I think that actually was week 3. That might have been week 3, actually. Ravens far superior weapons, though, and once they get the king on Tuesday, it's a wrap. Oh, they're getting the king?
No. I actually read a report that they plan on, this is all, he said, she said, but I've actually read a lot of rumors saying that the Titans have expressed to Derrick Henry that they are not trading him despite receiving calls about him. So,
this is a great moment to say this then. Everybody that I hear on a podcast or on a video like this is talking about how the Titans are giving up on 2023. That is the stupidest shit in the world. Bill Simmons said he sounds like an idiot. The local guy, I think Mike Valenti here in Detroit, you sound like an idiot when you say that. It's stupid. I'm locking that in because it's Mike Vrabel and the Titans. Just because they traded Byard, he's a great player, but that doesn't mean they're done with the season. It's only week 8. It's ridiculous. They're coming off a bye. They're taking on the Falcons, who are very beatable. I am all over taking the Titans today. I know they got rookie quarterback in Levis and Malik Willis in the mix, but how many times do I have to bring up the example of the Chiefs game last year? And they're not playing the Chiefs this year. They're playing the Falcons off the bye, ready to go without Tannehill. I think it looks scary, but you got to take the plunge. The +3 and the Titans at home. They're not done. They're not done at all.
I actually like the Titans at money line today outside of the points. This is a trap game through and through. Despite having Will Levis and Malik Willis as the quarterbacks there, they still have Derrick Henry, who has a lot left in the tank. Anybody who's streaming the Falcons, I strongly encourage you to look elsewhere. I'm not saying that they won't be a decent option, but they're not the top 5 defense this week. That's just not who they are.
Little trouble there.
But again, Tennessee fresh off the bye, they're going to see what they got in Levis. And a lot of people automatically think rookie quarterback. That means that they're going to turn the ball over 100 times. That's not going to be the case. Derrick Henry's probably going to see the ball at least 20, 25 times a day, and Tajay Spears will also be in the mix. So I actually like Tajay Spears a lot as a solid flex play. So
I'm with you there. Yep, that sounds great to me. I talked about it on Tuesday. The Titans are who you think they are. It never changes.
Where are we at in society today?
They are.
Yeah.
Just like Denny Green said. Oh, wait, that wasn't Denny Green. What was that one? Yeah, it was Denny Green.
Was it?
Was it? Oh, where? What is? I can't hear this. What
Where
is it
are we
saying?
at in society today?
Yeah.
Which one is that? Because I can't hear it.
I thought that was Mora. Wasn't that Mora who was saying the we are who they thought they were?
Oh, no, that was Denny Green who said that originally. So
sorry.
This one.
Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass.
Yeah, that's right.
But they are who we thought they were.
I'm pressing the.
And
I
we let
can't
them
hear
off
the
the
buttons
hook.
today, so I'm Denny Green still talking.
I'm thinking the playoffs one. Playoffs?
Oh. So okay, when I hit this button, what do you hear? Because I can't hear it.
Where are we at in society today?
Clearly where we're at in society today. I think that's what it says.
Oh yeah, that's Mike Gundy. There you go. Great. Yeah, Mike Gundy. He's got commentary. There you go, Mike Gundy. Round of applause, Mike Gundy. All right, so BTC says, let's trade a 25-year-old wide receiver, but now we gonna keep the 30-year-old RB. Titans are clowns. Yeah, they trade A.J. Brown. They keep Derrick Henry. I'm not saying they'll run well. I just know what's going to happen today. That's it.
Yep.
Smokey the Cat. What's up, Smokey? Tight end. Who do I start? Taysom Hill, Gerald Everett, or Michael Mayer of the Raiders. Monday Night Football, Lions, Raiders. I got to drop one. Rashawn or Charbs? Thanks. Anytime, Smokey. Rashawn or Charbs? I'm dropping Charbs.
I am sorry to give you not a solid answer on this, Smokey. I am dropping Roshan. And the only reason why I say Charbs, it's keeping Charbs, is because Kenneth Walker has been banged up. And again, I think he's going to see elite volume if something were to happen to Kenneth Walker. Roshan, I don't think Deontay Foreman is going away. And they'll get Khalil Herbert back at some point, which is just going to muddy the waters there. It's going to be a three-headed monster. So I do like Roshan from a dynasty perspective, though, over Charbonnet. But for this season, I like Charbs.
Okay, as far as the tight end here, Taysom Hill, it looks like he's going to play at the Colts. You never know with Taysom Hill. It's a real crapshoot. Gerald Everett and the Chargers got the Bears at home tonight, and that looks like a tasty matchup for them offensively. But Michael Mayer's a guy, he showed up finally a couple weeks ago, and the Lions are terrible at guarding the tight end. And I'm not even talking last week with Mark Andrews, who had 2 touchdowns. Every week, hell, when the Seahawks came in, the first home game of the season, Noah Fant looked all right in that game. So take a look at how the Lions have struggled against tight ends this year. I'm going with Michael Mayer here, and I feel pretty good about it. I do.
I'm go ahead and hit that button again because I'm with you on Mayer there. Everett also has the questionable tag. I have not seen what his status is for later today, but he obviously plays in the later half. So you're not going to have a whole lot in terms of pivoting. Maybe you can go to Mayer, but of these three, I like Mayer the most. In that matchup. And again, Taysom Hill, like Michael said, he's a crapshoot. You never know what you're going to get him. I know he's a popular waiver wire ad this week, just simply because off the game that he had, but he very well could go out and lay a dud and give you 1 or 2 points. That's in the realm of possibilities. There's really no in between with Taysom Hill. So
just in case you didn't believe me and you thought I was making shit up because I'm just some guy on your video screen saying things, here it is. The Lions are bottom of the barrel. This is tight end points allowed this season. Go all the way down. The Jets are the worst technically. Oh, wait. How do they rank this? It's supposed to be by the points given up, right? Okay, so 659. This doesn't make sense. 59 points.
Is this fantasy?
Yeah, this is fantasy points. Yeah. Okay. So why would 59? This is an error here. The Lions are the worst. 62 points. This is the number right here. So
what's the far right column?
Oh, this is I see. This is per game. So like averages. But in terms of total points, the Lions have actually given up the most. It's 3 points, 62 to 59. But bottom line is the Lions are bottom 2, bottom 3 in the NFL and allowed giving up touchdowns to tight ends. They got 4 touchdowns allowed on the season here. So 43 catches on 58 targets. The Lions backers, they struggle a bit with the tight end. That's all you need to know.
Jimmy G is playing in that game too.
Yes, Jimmy G's back. He'll be ready to go. And the Raiders got smoked. The Raiders are they're gonna show up for this Monday night game. Everyone assumes the whole public is on the Lions as an absolute just beating on Monday Night Football, but the Raiders are gonna try with Jimmy G in there. They're gonna be a factor. I'm sure Jacoby Myers is gonna score a touchdown because that's what happens when Jimmy G starts every time. That's a good thing, right? Your brother says so. Do we still like Burrow at San Francisco, or do I pivot to Pat Stafford? Well, he used to be Pat Stafford. He won a Super Bowl now, so I guess we can't call him that anymore. At Dallas. Joey Burrow off a bye. It just seems to make so much sense. Then again, it's the 49ers D in San Francisco. That's still tough. Just because the Vikings beat them doesn't mean San Francisco's defense sucks now. And then my only other concern with Matt Stafford is that Dallas front. It's
That's putting him
still
mildly.
rush the passer. That's for sure. And there's been problems blocking up front. But Matt Stafford, he could do a backdoor cover on this, and he could put up some points even in garbage time. So you got to think about that. Just because the Rams might not win the game doesn't mean Matt Stafford won't be useful from a statistical perspective. It's a really tough call for me here. I'm still as torn as I was on Tuesday about this.
Yeah, I'm going Joe Burrow here, fresh off a bye. Higgins will be healthy. Mixing the weapons with Jamar Chase, obviously. I think that game is actually going to be a higher scoring game than most people think. So I like Joe Burrow as just an overall better quarterback than Matt Stafford. And I do not like the Rams offensive line with facing that Dallas front. It's also worth noting too, that he has Cooper Kupp, as one of his receivers. So maybe he's looking for the double dip, between, and we also do 5 points per passing score, for quarterbacks.
Ooh.
So.
Well, since you brought up highest scoring games of the week, I just want to give you a little taste. If you're on the Patreon, Palazzo Podcast Patreon, 2 L's, 2 Z's.
Utah.
Starts at $3.
Give me 2.
I fill out a sheet weekly where I give you my plays for spreads, totals in every game. Plus, I fill out my top players at each position and the highest scoring games of the week, as you see right here on your screen. So these were my highest scoring games of the week. Mike, I'm curious what you think. I got Philly-Washington as the highest scoring game of the week, in my opinion. And this is not just based on the implied total, but other factors as well. Who's up, who's down. There's a lot of trends that I mixed into this to make my final determination. But my top 5 highest-scoring games, Philly-Washington, New England-Miami, Minnesota-Green Bay, Jacksonville-Pittsburgh, and Kansas City-Denver.
Yeah.
I got your Rams-Dallas on there. It's just 7th. I could move it up. I'm not opposed to moving it up.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think the 49ers and the Bengals is going to be higher scoring than people think. That was my thing.
That game.
Yeah.
I got it on the list, but it's way down here, second to last.
Yeah, I actually like your call, the Jacksonville Pitt game. I actually think that game's going to be really high scoring as well. I don't know how many points New England's going to score against Miami. They're not, a defensive stalwart, but I still don't like them as a team that's going to be able to move the ball very well. I think, if anything, there's the reason why it's going to be high scoring is because Miami's probably going to bury their shit in the ground and shit down their necks. So, but I do like Philly versus Washington as the highest point total there.
Pats are on a roll, dude. After the absolute bottoming out, embarrassment shithole part of their season where the Saints smoked them at home 34-0, and they got ripped by the Cowboys on the road 38-3. They've played better. They played better in a loss to Las Vegas on the road. Then they beat the Bills outright. And now they've got Miami, who they lost a heartbreaker to at home. I think it was 24-17. It was a very close game. Remember that lineman fell forward, but they said it wasn't a first down? Oh, man, that was bogus.
Yeah.
But
like I said, New England's not as bad as they played in the beginning of the season. So,
yeah.
I wouldn't.
But I agree. Miami's the stronger team, of course.
Sure.
I think we could be looking at a plus 50-point situation overall for a total.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, you better agree with me.
All right. Donovan says, here we go. Chigakonkwo, Tyler Conklin, or Jonnu Smith.
How many weeks do I have to wait for Okonkwo to get a touchdown? I swear, he has not even scored a touchdown this year. I'm pretty sure of that because I drafted him all over the place, so I would know.
You ready for this? Lock it in here for me. Chigakonkwo scores his first touchdown today for the Tennessee Titans with a rookie quarterback. Lock it in.
Sounds good to me. Will Levis relying on the tight end as a safety valve. It'd be great to see that. The Falcons, there's no way the Falcons are going to win 2 straight road games. No way that Desmond Ridder is going to beat Tampa Bay on the road. By the way, Tampa Bay, the way they played against the Bills, they never should have lost that game at home. That's why I hate this league. Why do we cover it? Why do we play? Why do we play fantasy football? It doesn't make any sense. You have no idea what's going to happen this week. None of you. I don't care what anybody says. Give me all the stats of the world. Everything we say is pointless because we have no idea what's going to happen.
Lock it in. Yeah, I like Chig here. Second on my list here would be Jonnu.
Conklin for me.
Conklin for you? Okay.
I tell you, Zach Wilson loves Conklin. He dumps to him. He's a terrible quarterback. It's one of his favorite targets because he can't get the ball to Garrett Wilson enough because he sucks. So he leans on Conklin. And I think Conklin's going to score today against the Giants in a terrible game, which might not have more than 2 touchdowns combined.
I was just going to say, that's my thing, is I don't think that game is going to be high scoring. I think they're just 2 inept offenses. So I really just, as a whole. So who do you like in that game, by the way? For those of you guys who aren't a part of the Patreon, right, you should get on there for $3 because Michael Govier goes over some betting picks, not just for the NFL, but also college football as well, if you're a college football dabbler.
Oh, dude, things went well yesterday. I was very pleased. I feel bad that I didn't get a chance because I was so busy to share more of my college bets with Patreon yesterday. I'm sorry, Patreon. So that doesn't that's not a ringing endorsement, but usually I share those picks. But things went real well. The under in the UCLA Colorado game was a guarantee. UCLA's defense is way better than people realize. They just think it's a high-flying Chip Kelly offensive team. So that was good money. Some good times yesterday in college football bets, and I usually try to share those every week because that's what we do here at the Plaza Podcast. We care about you. Utah. Two Z's. By the way, Darren Waller, who I don't know if he's going to play still. We're still up in the air right now. I think even at this 10:50 a.m., he'd be a great play against the Jets because remember we just looked at the Jets, one of the worst teams next to the Lions when it comes to tight ends, and Waller's coming off a great game he had last week. So I like the Giants in this game outright. They're getting 3 points at home. It's a home game for both teams because it's the Meadowlands, but I just think the Giants are figuring something out with Tyrod Taylor now. It's a little bit of a different feel and look, more efficient, more consistent than what Daniel Jones was giving them. And Zach Wilson, you just can't trust him. The only way the Jets pull it off is if the defense somehow dominates and wins the game for them outright.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm 100% on everything you just said. I like the Giants in that.
That's funny. I got to drop that. Sounds just like that. All right, BTC says Rams are going to win. Mike McCarthy versus a guy who can actually call an offensive game. Okay, well, it seems like the Cowboys are the heavy favorite, and the Rams coming off a tough loss to the Steelers, who some say maybe they should have won that game anyways. Who the hell knows? Smokey the Cat, thoughts on me starting in a 12-team PPR? Burrow, Chase, CD, Bijan, Brees, Mayer, and Gibbs. Joe Burrow, I like it. Jamar Chase, we love it. CD Lamb, absolutely, one of my favorites. Bijan, I mean, there you go. Mike's going thumbs down. Tell him why.
Arthur Smith, that's all you need to know. I don't know if anybody saw his pressers after the game, but he doesn't care about your fantasy football team, people. He looked like a child up at the podium and basically crossing his arms saying, I don't care if he's the best player. I'm going to play Tyler Algier if I think he's the better play. We don't care about your fantasy football teams. Very, very smug personality. Just the whole thing just gave off really bad vibes.
Little trouble there.
He doesn't have an injury designation. Who the hell knows? Maybe Bijan woke up with stubbed his toe in the bedpost today and he doesn't play. But apparently he was pretty pissed off with the questions that he was getting about Bijan last week and why he didn't list him on the injury report heading into Sunday. But I love Bijan as a player. Michael's brought it up multiple times, even before the season as well. But even throughout the season, he just doesn't look good in this offense right now. And that offensive line is not performing like it did last year. They're the most run-heavy team in football. They want to spread it out between Tyler Algier, Cordell Patterson, and Bijan Robinson. So from a PPR perspective, I like Bijan just simply because I think he's the best pass catcher out of those three. But you just can't trust him. But you have to start him. I don't know if you have any better options in terms of just ceiling plays. So
because you are absolutely 100% right in everything that you're saying.
There it is. BTC says New England, Miami under. You know what's funny, actually? I just looked at my overall plays. I gave you a little preview. I didn't show you the whole sheet there that I put on Patreon. And I actually did take the Miami, New England under. That's my play. So I actually, live update in real time, I just lowered the New England, Miami game to 4th highest scoring. So there's a live update. Thanks, BTC. You reminded me, and I got to make sure I stick to my guns. Don't start changing your opinions over and over and over again until you don't even know who you are anymore, and you're a shell of yourself, and you don't even remember why you like this game in the first place. I don't want that for anybody. Smokey's on fire. It's 46. It was 46. That was the number. Last number I had was 46.5.
Gotcha.
Actual retail price, I'm sure it changed because I put that in on Tuesday. So your numbers do vary. Now we're up. No, we're still at 46.5. Okay, so that hasn't changed. Smokey the Cat says Jacobs would be my other running back option over Bijan. Lions run D. That's one of the things they do best. I know Baltimore beat the hell out of them. Somehow Gus Edwards had an 80-yard catch I still don't know. How did that happen?
I don't know. When I saw 80 yards, I'm like, that's a typo. It's probably Justice Hill, but Gus Edwards running for 80 yards on anything is like, it must have been broken coverage or whatever. I didn't watch the game because I was out golfing, but when
That's
I saw
true,
it,
you were.
When I saw it, I was like, that doesn't make any sense. There's a reason why they call him the Gus bus. Buses don't usually move at high speeds, so.
You're in a tough spot there. Tennessee's run D and the Lions run D. That's two things they do very well. The Lions have been really good against the run, so they're even better than Tennessee. So if I was forced, although I would say if you got Jimmy G dumping off and you're playing in PPR, like you said, Jacobs could be useful from a PPR perspective. So it's important to look at all aspects of the defense, not just the run defense when it comes to running backs. So I think I might go Jacobs by a hair there. And hell, maybe he just plunges one in from like 2 yards out, which is possible.
I would, because it's the off and Smokey. This is the reason why I have Bijan in my home league. I actually drafted him as well. So, but I'm telling you to start Jacobs, and the reason why is because volume. I'm going to keep saying it, right? Simply because of the fact of, again, he doesn't really split work with a whole lot of people. I know Zamir White's mixed in, Amir Abdullah from time to time, but Tyler Algier gets the ball inside the red zone and on the goal line. Cordell Patterson is now muddying the waters and getting some looks here. I think you got to go Jacobs here, and it's not close for me either.
Cordell Patterson was a guy I moved up my rankings massively. Again, available on Patreon. Might be one of the best highlights for fantasy football. Is me and Mike post our weekly rankings, position by position, weekly matchups. It's outstanding. It's got player notes, buys. No buys this week. It's wonderful. There's so much action this week. I almost kind of wish there were buys because I feel like I can do better in DFS when I have less options to choose from. It only makes it more difficult when you got to pick from the entire lot. Woo! Life is hard.
That's putting it mild.
BTC says, if Zach Moss out today, does JT have that official comeback game? Another pretty good run defense in the Saints, though. That's my only concern. But you're right. It makes all the sense in the world. The Saints, it was Thursday Night Football, though. Jaguars put up 31 points, even though they had a defensive touchdown. My gut instinct says sure, but the Saints' run defense, they don't play, so they're going to have to earn it, and I think they're going to make them throw it, meaning Gardner Minshew's going to have to throw to beat the Saints today.
Yeah, and, JT's been playing pretty well outside of his first game back when he was kind of a dead even split with Zach Moss, even though he's kind of been like that all day, since JT's come back. It's pretty much been dead even across in terms of carries. But yeah, I think if you have JT, you're starting him regardless if Moss is playing or not. I know Moss said he was going to test his I think it's his foot or his ankle. I can't remember which one it was. He wants to test it out pregame. Even if he does decide to go, I think they're going to be careful with him. And he probably won't see his full complement of snaps. So I like JT a lot today, actually, even against a tough New Orleans defense. I think he's, like Michael had alluded to, I think he's going to get a lot of check down work from Gardner Minshew. He's the most dynamic playmaker. I actually like Josh Downs a lot in this game, too. So if he's available and floating around in your waiver wire, get early in on Josh Downs. If he's
Of course, yeah. Jordan Schultz, who is a NFL insider for Bleacher Report, says Zach Moss plans to play today versus the Saints. This was 2 hours ago, barring no setbacks in pregame warmups, which basically says nothing because he's basically giving himself an outlet. Well, I did say barring no setbacks in pregame warmups. Get the fuck out of here, that shit.
Stupid. He's basically zeroing himself out. Be like, he plans to play, but he could also not play, Yeah.
Wow, dude.
Wow,
Great
dude.
Analysis.
Right.
Yeah, it's a heel elbow. It's a foot for Moss. No, yeah, it's foot, heel, whatever you want to call it. Foot crisis. He had the arm injury coming in spring training, preseason football. By the way, spring training vastly superior to preseason football. I'm gonna lock that in. Nathan, one more time. Oh boy, Nathan H says hi. Start Taysom Hill or pick up Waller, Everett, or Pitt. Hi, Nathan. Thanks for being here. Subscribe, like the video, join the Discord for free. Again, this is standard league, so no PPR whatsoever, right? This is Mike's kind of league.
Yep.
I think, if Waller's going to play, I want to go with Waller here for sure.
Okay. Yeah, it's tough between me. I haven't decided between Waller and Pitts. Pitts has been playing a little bit better recently. I hate, and I mean this in the most fantasy point possible. All right, so nobody jump on my ass here, but I do not like Desmond Ridder. I hate Desmond Ridder. I hate him as a quarterback. I don't think he's good. So, I mean, that obviously lowers Pitts down a little bit. But I had mentioned earlier in the podcast, Pitts and the Falcons, they run the ball a lot more than most teams. So the opportunities may not be there for Pitts. But I'm with Michael now that I'm talking myself into it here. I'm going Darren Waller. But keep an eye out. Make sure that he's playing, obviously. I think there's been some reports that he was questionable heading into today. So.
Yeah, and again, if you buy into this stuff in terms of points allowed by teams to a positional situation, of course, there's a lot of variables that go into that. But, the Tennessee Titans, they know how to defend the tight end. They do it pretty well. They have not given up a single receiving touchdown yet to any tight ends. So if you think Pitts is going to break through on that, really Pitts had 2 decent weeks, and other than that, it's been the same old, same old. So I don't know if those were flukes or not. They do look like flukes in the overall package. And this is the fascinating part about this Falcons-Titans game is Arthur Smith, former OC, Mike Vrabel, still the head coach. These guys know each other really, really well. So it's going to be interesting to see who can get over on who in certain aspects of the game today.
Titans money line, people, lock it in. When we come in here on Tuesday's show, when we talk on Tuesday, you're going to be like, damn it. Why didn't I follow Mike Virginia's advice? Why didn't I take the Titans money line, right? Lock it in. My lock of the week. Titans money line, they're going to win today, even with a rookie quarterback. Or
a lot of home dogs today. Commanders getting 7 at home. They play the Eagles tough. They won Eagles won the first game in overtime, and they also lost to Washington last year. So that should be close. But if Washington's falling apart, and there's rumors that Montez Sweat is on his way out, he could be traded, and he'd be a nice pass rushing asset for anybody, especially my Lions. I'd love to see the Lions get Montez Sweat. But I think when I think about home dogs, it looks tasty, but what is the home field advantage anymore? I mean, my Lions have a pretty sweet home advantage because they're so fired up about their team this year. It really is deafening in there. It's intense. False starts. Seattle's been known to have a home advantage, but I don't know. Lambeau Field's not scary to anybody anymore. The Lambeau Packers are 1-point dogs at home. I know it's only 1 point, but Steelers are dogs. A lot of Panthers are home dogs, and sooner or later the Panthers have to win a game at some point.
Yeah, 2 things I want to mention real quick. I like the Steelers as well as home dogs. I like the Steelers plus the points versus the Jags today. I'm not saying they're going to win. I just like the points. So I like that game. Mike Tomlin as a home dog just doesn't sit well with me. I know the Jaguars have been playing better recently, but give me the Steelers there with a healthy Deontay Johnson. If they can run the ball effectively today, I think they'll be a yeah. BTC says you don't hate Arthur Smith or anything, Mike Virginia. I hate him. I think I hate him more than Desmond Ridder. I just hate the Falcons organization right now. But secondly, I think we talked about this on Tuesday's show. I do want to throw in a early waiver wire ad, okay? Or if you're in a pinch spot and you've had some guys who are banged up, you play in a deeper league, Devin Singletary of the Houston Texans, get in on him. He's been outplaying Dameon Pierce the past couple of weeks, really all season. And I do think they're going to try to get him more involved today. The Panthers cannot stop the run. They're the worst rushing defense in football. Give me Devin Singletary today as an early speculative ad. I'm not saying he's a league winner, but he's a guy that can get you through bye weeks for sure.
Fair point. James says, MJ Govier, Titans, nice pick. That's also Mike's pick, by the way. He's locked in on that. Who is your lock of the year? Oh, I don't lock of the year. Who could say? I assume that's what that means, my friend. I'd have to report back to you on that one. But I don't know if I could say the Titans are a lock of the year either. I don't know if Mike's going to say that, although he's pretty adamant about it.
Yeah, I am. I don't know if it's my lock of the year, though, but I do like that game. Though,
no, we can't commit to a lock of the year. It's too intense. It has to work, because if your lock of the year is wrong, then you're an embarrassment to everybody. Yeah, it's got to be correct. We need more research than that. Nathan says, what time does the official injury report come out today? I heard usually it's about 11:30 in the morning, a.m. Yeah, 90 minutes before game time. So just stay tuned to Twitter. We're going to be off the air by then, but keep your eyes peeled on Twitter and, Adam Schefter's Twitter handle. He's usually locked in and all that shit, and you will know. Oh, he meant lock of the day. Yeah, I could maybe do lock of the day. Let me look real quick.
I was going to say, I need to look too. I obviously, I'm being a little bit exaggerative here. I do like the Titans money line, but I don't know if it's my lock of the day.
There's no such thing as a lock of the day in the NFL. It's just so, right. Man, you know what it is? It really seems like we have so many books. We have so much analysis that to try to compare betting to 20 years ago, like I was thinking back in 2004, I lived in Cincinnati. I had the Sunday ticket and I was locked in on parlays and going crazy on that stuff. And I would win 14 parlays at like almost once a week, maybe every other week, but I really could win them. These days, it's just not the same because of the amount of access and information, and the books are so good at making a number so difficult to read now. It's just a different world.
Yeah, agreed. I don't know if I have a lock of the day. I don't really feel good about it. And looking at these lines, I don't feel good about really any of the spreads or the over-unders.
I told you. You never will.
Yeah.
You never will. You have to just eat shit, and you got to be like, this sucks. Okay, here we go. I assume I'm going to lose. You have to do that in the NFL. Not like college where some reason it's just, there's lines, especially totals. They're like, no way that total is going to hit or it's going to go over that. I don't know why that is, because college gets a lot of run too.
What do you think is easier in your opinion? Because I had this conversation with a couple buddies on the way home from my golf trip. What do you think is easier to bet on and be more successful at? Obviously, nobody's winning 100 out of 100 bets, but what do you think is easier between college and NFL?
I think college is easier. Same. Just because the NFL is so, where NFL you can do better is when you do, I think player props is where it's at. I'm realizing now team bets, totals, spreads, the edges aren't there anymore at all. And I grew up that way. That's how I was a bettor. I remember the first time I ever had a bookie was in 2002. I worked at a Chili's in Ann Arbor, and this guy every Thursday, he would bring in this huge sheet of all the college games, and he's like, get this to me by Saturday morning. I'm like, oh, I can't wait. And it was so much fun to go over it. And it was awesome, but I was always on spreads and totals. I never did. There wasn't player props on that sheet because we didn't have the internet, right? It was just too hard, I guess, to put it all together. But now we do. And I'll tell you, I told you this Tuesday, I keep hitting these I hit it again. Josh Allen, first touchdown on Buffalo Bucks. That's 3 straight times on these primetime games I've hit the first player touchdown, and you get good odds. Josh Allen was 9-1. Dallas Goedert was 17-1. So that's kind of where I'm starting to shift, I think, from now on.
Yeah, I think that's spot on. BTC actually says it too. NFL player props anytime Tuds is away. I agree with that take. College is easier for me to bet on in terms of spreads, over-unders, team totals, all of those first half, second half plays, whatever it may be. NFL, I'm leaning a lot more towards player props now, more than anything. Because again, I also don't think the juice is really there either. You know what I mean? In terms of some of these bets. So, but yeah, I'm a college football guy betting wise, in terms of just teams and totals. So
teams and totals. BTC says lock of the day is Nico and Tank over receiving yards. No, I got to tell you, man, Carolina's pass defense is not terrible. They're coming off a bye. It can't be this easy. And sooner or later, the Texans got to run into a wall here. Carolina got smoked by the Miami passing offense, but they're not going to get smoked by this Texan passing offense. I don't think they are. That's my feeling. So I just wanted to challenge you, BTC, because you are a smart guy. You know what you're doing.
I did see that the Carolina secondary is banged up. I don't know who's out or who's missing from that secondary, but
they've had problems for a while there. That's like they've been missing guys. I was hoping coming out of the bye, I think what's his face? Was it Jackson would come back out of the bye? And if that doesn't happen, then that's not great. But I don't know. I just got this feeling today, which is totally stupid because it's just a feeling that the Panthers are going to show up and finally get their first win of the season. Frank, my main man, Reich, going to get his first win. Not his first NFL win, of course, because he's been in the league for a while. By the way, this made me think of Danny Glover in Lethal Weapon 2 when he's on the toilet and they got to pull him off and his house blows up. That's got to be the best bomb in a movie ever, the toilet bomb. Hilarious. I love that. That's exactly what I thought of there. You? I don't know what you means, under. All right. Any final words here? Because I got to get back to my own business, guys. I got shit to do. I got to take care of my lineups. I got to tweak so much shit. There's never enough time before kickoff. I wish I did. Oh, he said he pocket dialed me? Oh, you pocket dialed? Oh, my bad. Okay. Ross Tucker said 2 Panthers feel ripe for an upset. Well, if Ross Tucker said it, then of course it's right. Am I wrong, Jimmy? Lock it in.
Ross stole it from Govier. Let's just be honest and real here. Okay.
That's where he gets all his takes.
Ross is watching right now. He's one of our viewers. He's watching Govier, and he's using him as his own thoughts.
Classic. All right, so how about
Tuesday's show?
Yeah,
I was gonna real quick. Tuesday's show. Make sure you guys check this out. We'll talk about Week 9 preview coming up. Guys are out on the waiver wires. Talk about obviously Week 8, how that went. Obviously, here to help you guys out in terms of trades. dynasty questions, whatever it may be. It's recorded, so you guys can check us out on Apple. Please leave 5-star reviews, Spotify, like and subscribe to the YouTube. You know the whole deal. But for right now, until end up kickoff, we're going to be jumping off. Make sure you get in the Patreon. There's not just me and Michael Govier in there giving advice. There's tons of people in there, and it's free. So make sure you guys get in there.
Discord's totally free. Get in there. It's a lot of fun. Remember this. I'm going to Arizona on Thursday, so Tuesday will be the last chance to talk to me. Mike will be here next Sunday, possibly with a special guest. But the show will be here next Sunday. We want to make sure we keep getting it to you. If I could be on the air, I would, but big annual first pitch Arizona trip. It's going to be a lot of fun. PTC says, Ross Tucker, king of clickbait, next to rap. Oh, my gosh. Donovan says, good luck to everyone. Thanks, guys. Well, of course, Donovan, you were so kind to us. We love you, buddy. Let me see. Final calls here, because I feel like I didn't get enough player calls today. Let me look here. I think we talked way too much about the Tennessee-Atlanta game.
I want to ask you a question really quick, if I could.
Go ahead. Yeah.
How do we feel about Aaron Jones today? And the reason why I'm asking that question is because, one, that he is not on the final injury report. He does not have an injury designation. But Matt LaFleur, who's next in line behind Arthur Smith as the biggest bozo in the NFL, said that they're still going to monitor him. He's not 100% healthy yet. So that's kind of concerning for me. How do you feel about Aaron Jones? And would you pivot and maybe start Darrell Henderson over him?
No way. I'm not starting Darrell Henderson over him. No way.
All right.
No. Aaron Jones.
Talking off the ledge.
It's time. Aaron Jones back in business. The problem is, though, he's not going to run for a lot of yards.
Yeah.
So
do you think
the only way Aaron Jones has is catching the ball?
Yeah.
Because Minnesota run defense is pretty decent, actually.
Yeah.
So I think that's a challenge for them. So if Jones gets 60, 65% of the snaps, can catch 7 to 8 balls out of the backfield, that was Aaron Rodgers' special. I don't know if him and Jordan Love have that connection because we haven't really seen that yet.
He did in week 1. We haven't seen it since.
Well, then there you go. If he's healthy, there's no issues. The Packers desperately need a win. They need their best players on the field. I liked Minnesota, but they had such a challenging game against San Francisco on Monday night. It took a lot out of them. San Francisco's a tough team to play. It seems like all systems are go for the Packers to have an excellent offensive week here. I thought they'd win last week. I was a week late, I guess. I got to stick with it because they should have beat Denver. So I'm going to go back to the well and say I'm taking the Packers and the +1 point. They're getting at home, and they should. The Packers have been involved. If you look at their schedule this year and the money lines and the spreads, they've been involved in several 1 or 1.5 point spreads this year. It's been really weird. It was the same thing the first game of the season. Remember, it was Chicago Bears. It was 1.5, and people thought Chicago was ready to go, and the Packers blew the doors off them 38-13. We haven't seen that since. So I think we're getting back to basics. Even though Matt LaFleur is a bozo, I agree with that. The Packers should return to normalcy and have a solid offensive afternoon, but it's going to be done through the air, not on the ground.
Lock it in. BTC says, you want a lock of the day? Vikings money line. So he's fading Govier. He's taking the Vikings in Lambeau. James says, Bijan going to twerk today? Hell no. We already went over that. James, scroll back a little bit. Arthur Smith sucks. So no, that's not happening.
Sorry, Penn God. Yeah.
What were you going to say, Michael? The Vikings in Packers money line.
I mean, I like the Vikings as a team overall. They're kind of a more complete team than they were last year for sure, even without Justin Jefferson. It's allowed them. Cam Akers also, I said on Tuesday, it looks like he might be usurping this role. This is another important point, which actually goes in BTC's favor. Green Bay's run defense is horrendous. I mean, Javonte got off against them. I've talked about how my Lions destroyed them in that Thursday night game. They're one of the worst at defending running backs in the league. So that's great news for Cam Akers this week. If he's going to get more snaps than Madison, this would be a Cam Akers breakout week. This could be a Cam Akers 2-touchdown game, actually. So I'm going to go on the record that, and I don't even like Cam Akers, but I know where the matchups are, and you got to trust the trends and how the game's flowing in that direction.
I'm so glad you brought that up because that is a great call. Lock that in 2 times. Utah, give me 2. Love Cam Akers
Utah,
today.
Give me 2.
Oh, loves Cam Akers. You sick bastard.
I'm not a Cam Akers fan. I just look exactly what Govier just said. I do like him as a part of this offense moving forward, and I think it's gonna be closer than people think between him and Madison. I think Cam Akers is slowly working his way up to overtake Madison in that offense.
Yeah, I'm not happy about it, but I have to stick to what I said on that because it does look that way. Also, Pin God says, sharp-ass friend of mine loves Packers today. We'll say no more, Pin God. I'm locking you in. There you go. But the problem is, with BTC's point, Zebras will win this game for the Vikings. Screenshot this. Do you know somebody in the NFL office? Are you good friends with, what's that guy?
Ed Hockley.
Ed Hockley. Who's the former head of officials who's on TV now? That guy? I can't think of it. Not Florentino?
No.
Something like that.
Who the hell is it?
Someone else tell us. I don't care about him at all, so that's why I don't remember his name. But the point being is, Kirk Cousins is a better quarterback than Love. So if it comes down to a final drive, Cousins could sneak this one out. It really could be a 1-point game or a field goal game. I don't see this being a wild game in anyone's direction in terms of, like, if you want to bet, hey, Packers win by a touchdown, I bet you get really good odds on that, but I don't know if I want to do that in this one.
Yeah.
Final. I just want to give everything a record. I like the Washington offense today. I think they can bounce back. Sam Howell, I'm starting him. I feel good with him as a super flex play as well. The Jags-Steelers game, Mike has a clear read on it than I do. I have a less clear read on it. I think the ETN party, there's no way he's going to have 2 more rushing touchdowns. That's got to stop eventually. And I know Trevor Lawrence has been questionable. He'll play, so I'm not sweating that because he's been playing with his knee brace. Even ran for like 60 yards against the Saints on Thursday Night Football. Yep. But the Steelers' offense won't get going until the second half, and they'll probably pull out some miracle. Texans, Panthers, you know where I stand there. Jets, Giants should be very low scoring. I'm taking the under. Even though it's at 34.5, I'm still taking the under. But I like Tyrod Taylor to be efficient enough to get the offense into a situation, but not enough of a situation where it will be fantasy beneficial. Not for me at all. Saints, Colts could be higher scoring, even though the Saints defense should be better. But the Colts at home, they put up some points. I know last week was 39-38, crazy-ass game, and Gardner Minshew was amazing. But I think Gardner slows down a bit against the Saints defense this week, even though Cleveland's defense was good, and he kind of rolled up on them last week. I know it doesn't make sense, but also, we didn't talk about the Browns-Seahawks game. A lot of people like the Browns in Seattle today, and the Browns are, I mean, they're they're 4-point dogs. I think that's why people like it, because they're getting points with the Browns. But the Seahawks at home are really good, and their defense is much better this year. I have to see it to believe it. I really do. I love the Seahawks offense in that game. The Browns defense is not as good as everyone says it is with Jim Schwartz. We've seen them exposed in different games and situations. It all depends. This could be a tighter affair. I mean, the over-under is it's at 38 right now. I kind of like the over in the Browns Seahawks. I think they could have a 23-20 game, no problem.
Yeah, I like that out. I like that too. BTC says if Ford is out, is Hunt a top 20 play today?
Yeah, top 20? Are you mean like top 20 overall player?
I assume maybe running back. I think he's talking about, but yeah. If
I think he would mean overall, because top 20 running back, he's easily a starting. He's a top 20 running back play regardless of what happens.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if he's a top 20 play overall, but I do like him a lot in that game. Like Michael alluded to, I don't see the Browns going in and beating Seattle with PJ Walker, but hell, I've been wrong before. And like Michael talked about, we don't know fucking shit. So who knows? Maybe the Browns come in there and just blow their doors off, and PJ Walker throws for 5 touchdowns.
That's putting it mildly.
Yeah, that's putting it mildly. Remember, Saints, I said, are good against the run. They're second in the league in terms of giving up fantasy points from running backs. They've only given up 2 rushing touchdowns. They've not given up a receiving touchdown to any backs in 7 games. That kind of makes you think, oh, maybe that's going to finally happen, but that also shows you that they're pretty reliable as a defense on that aspect of the game. Think about the teams that really defend the running back well. The Falcons are also that team. Falcons have not given up a single damn rushing touchdown yet this year. So King Henry, Tajay Spears, you would think it's their time now, because it can't last forever, right?
Yeah, that changes today, I would think. Especially, I think they're going to, like I said, I think they're both going to get the ball a lot today and take a lot of pressure off of Will Levis and control the clock. So we'll see.
Wow. Also, the Cardinals have given up the most receiving touchdowns to running backs this year, 4. So if you like Lamar to dump it off to his old pal, Gus, for another one, why not? Or Justice Hill. That could be fun. Just something to think about. I like to look at these. I mean, the Colts have given up 10 rushing touchdowns to running backs already this year. That's a lot. So the Colts have been ripped by running backs, and having Alvin Kamara playing the way he's playing, it's pretty tasty. In fact, I want to get on the record saying that Alvin Kamara should have an excellent day for the Saints today. I'm going to lock that in.
I was just literally going to say that Alvin Kamara is a top 3 play for me today against the Colts. I like him a lot today, and I think he gets involved in not just the groundwork, but also the passing game too. And I like him to score it as well. So anytime touchdown for Alvin Kamara, I think is a lock.
Ooh, all right. Locking that in with you. All right, there it is. We covered as much as we could. I got to go to bed. Just kidding. I'll be up all day obsessing over football, live betting and making mistakes and pissing money away like I shouldn't because I'm not a homeowner yet. You shouldn't piss money away on gambling if you don't own a home. Buy a house first, then piss your winnings away. Got it? Good. That's good, solid advice.
Wow,
right,
dude.
Thanks, everybody. Follow Mike on Twitter. _Mike VA. I'm at MJ Govier. Palazzo Podcast, 2 L's.
Utah.
2 Z's. Thanks for being in the live chat. You guys are crushing it. You always do. You make the show better. We'll be back Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time, like we always are, right here. Subscribe, like, Discord, Patreon. That's the story, my friends. Everybody have a great week 8. Kick some ass. If you have other questions, come find us. There's ways to find us. We just gave you all the keys to the kingdom, my friends. Mike, have a good one. Here we go.
Fucking Roethlisberger, the quarterback, was all fucking hug it, chug it,